if y'all all of a sudden see me get up and move, it's because I'm having to plug my computer in so it doesn't die.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're live. You guys ready?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 38 for January 15th, 2019. And this week, we're going to be digging into some big news regarding Bungie and Activision splitting the old Randy Pitchford hijinks that are going on recently. A big announcement from EA that made us all depressed. That Resident Evil 2 demo and much, much more. So let's get started. Thank you all for tuning in once again this week. My name is Josh Faulkner. We got Zach Anderson over there. What's up, Zach?
What's up? How's it going?
We got Shannon Moore over there, too. What's up, Shannon?
Hey-o.
And once again, returning, making us whole again, Robbie Steltenpole. What's up, Robbie?
What's up, man?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. It's been a long day, but everything is going well. I'm happy to be here. That is not a complaint. I'm just speaking facts. I've just had a long day.
All right, cool. Well, we'll talk about more we'll talk about that more a little bit later. So we'll give you some time to vent if you want there. So
I'm about to crush EA.
All right.
Let's just go ahead and get that off the table.
Right. Okay, so head on over to thatpixellife.com if you guys want more from us, including all the links you may be interested in, like following us on Twitter for show updates at That Pixel Life, subscribing to us on YouTube so you can watch the unedited live stream recording sessions of each show, joining us on the Facebook group to chat about games with us, subscribing to us on Patreon if you want to help fund the show, keep it running, get some incentives in the process, and the links to every podcast platform this show can be found on. There's also some articles and stuff that we write there as well you can check out, so stop on by if you get a free minute. Otherwise, Robbie, I want to give you the floor here before we get started because I know you haven't been here in a while, and I know we just had like a top 10 episode, a year in review episode, a predictions episode, and if you want to just get any input out there, anything that you've been yearning to talk about, man, I'm going to give you the floor. Just spill it on us.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go ahead and, because I have my list, in case no one watched my super long 18-minute video.
I'm surprised you weren't at the gym this time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I actually skipped the gym tonight. That's how busy I was today. I was busy if I had to do that. But anyway, I think 2018 was a really good year for games. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a great year for games.
Mm-hmm,
and what I mean by that is just like there were quite a few great games, but it wasn't like from February to December, like a great game every quarter, or every 2 or 3 months. I thought it was a really good year, though. My top 10 list in order was God of War, Spider-Man, Fortnite, Assassin's Creed, Dead Cells, Gorogoa, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Far Cry 5, Forza Horizon 4, what up, Zach, and Red Dead 2. As far as disappointing, though, Red Dead 2 is also on that list as well. Because, dear God, I don't know if I've ever had a game be so off-putting by its gameplay, but yet continue to try to suck me in with its characters and its story.
And the funny thing is, you're the only one out of the group of us that even mentioned that game. Like everyone was like, "Why aren't you guys talking about Red Dead?" It's like because none of us really liked it.
Yeah, And the reason why I feel okay about all this, about how I feel about this game, like I don't feel like I'm left in the dark, is that there are major publications who felt the same way that we did about the gameplay of the game. Now, however, I will never bash the game. Like I'll never bash anyone who enjoyed the game. If you loved it, man, hey, good for you, man. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. But I will never play that game again. Like I will never pick it up again.
I keep it around because I keep thinking I'm going to, but it's so hard for me to go back to that game because I know I'm just not going to have fun playing it.
Yeah.
But that story and those characters are so good. Like
100%.
I should just let's play the damn thing and be over with it, But I mean, you got to have the context with the gameplay and everything there too, and it's not the same if you just watch YouTube videos. So I want to suck all that in, but I know I'm not going to have fun playing it. So I keep it around, but I doubt I'll ever finish it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean it when I say I'm actually jealous of people that like that game. Like I wish I could be that person. I just I can't. Like the game wouldn't let me for whatever reason. Because all the characters, the storylines, everything, the little moments people talk about that they find in the world, that all sounds amazing, and I would love to have experienced that. I just kind of like Robbie, just the block for me. Just I couldn't get around it.
And so the inverse of that is Far Cry 5's story is absolute trash beyond trash, but the gameplay was so much fun, I couldn't stop playing it. But then Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like, I think I said it in my video, but I want to re-say it here. I have egg on my face because I don't know if you guys remember this, but a year ago, I said I would not play Odyssey because I was so disappointed that they were having another game back-to-back years after Origins being so good. And I said on the air with you guys that I would not play it again. I would not play this game. And then I did, and it was incredible, and I loved it.
I believed you as much as I believe Josh when he's like, I'm not going to buy that game. You know, like whatever that game is.
True.
Like whenever Josh says I'm not buying it, I'm like, oh, okay, day one purchase. Got it.
Yeah. How much do you guys want to bet I'll end up getting Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, bro, what you talking about? I'll be there at 9 I'll be there 9 p.m. the day.
I've already said that I because I'm not a fan of that franchise.
Josh, FOMO is going to get you so hard with Kingdom Hearts. You're like, I gotta get it. I gotta see what it's like. I have to.
That's what I'm saying. Take your bets and see if I actually end up breaking my New Year's resolution and buying it.
I'll be looking behind you, and on that Street Fighter cabinet, there'll be the custom Sora statue and a Keyblade hanging on the wall.
Oh, man. I love that Zach knows enough about the game to name a character, though. I love that. And I'll wind this down. So I played through Assassins, I played through Far Cry, I played through Red Dead. Those were all just very time consuming and very just like draining games. And my brother, for my birthday, which by the way, my birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man. My brother gave me his Switch for my birthday.
Oh,
and
nice.
And so around I got it around Christmas when we were down there in Valdosta, but I downloaded Octopath Traveler, a game that I was dying to play, and I think I just got RPG'd out.
Yeah, that sounds like bad timing.
Yeah, so it's digital on my Switch. It's not going anywhere. But Zach, this will be I cannot wait for your reaction here. So I'm trying to play a game, like I'm just trying to find something to play because I was reading a lot, but I wanted to play some video games while I'm not in school right now, and I just could not find a game that would hold my attention. Persona 5, we'll try to go back to that. No, don't want to play another RPG. I ended up reinstalling. Hold on, let me finish the name. Metal Gear Revengeance. The PS3 game that I had never played.
I thought you were going to say Survive, man.
Oh, no, God, no. I had never played Revengeance. And I bought it last year when it was on sale for like $5.
Now, Revengeance actually had, I mean, granted, I only played it for like an hour or two, but like the fight mechanics of Revengeance are kind of rad.
It is the most palate cleansing game ever. Like, it was just straight Asora's Wrath. Like, just fight a handful of dudes and then a boss fight. And you're right. It's just like big, dumb fun. And that was my gateway to
Wrath. Where's my HD remaster of that? Like, it's 4K.
That game.
Oh,
Would you say, Josh?
That game is so
I haven't
good.
played as Sora's Wrath. I haven't played it yet.
Okay, the story is absolute trash, but
no, but it's trash in like the most amazing anime way.
It's the most bombastic Dragon Ball Z game ever. But with my Switch, I started getting some gift cards for my birthday, and someone gave me a gift card to Target, and Target was having this like buy one get one half off sale on Switch games. So your boy may have bought Smash Brothers.
Nice. May have. Who could say?
Who could say? So just really quickly, I'll get to Smash in a minute because I know we got to talk about the games we play. But I don't know, man. Just overall, 2018 I thought was a really good year. I think 2019 could be a greater year if just 70% of the games that are announced come out, which we have no idea if that'll happen or not.
Yeah, but I think this will be a bigger year. I'm looking more forward to the stuff coming out this year than was the last, with the exception of God of War. I mean, that was I was huge about. But we'll find out, man.
Thank you for that time. But that's me spewing out my random thoughts.
I mean, video games, but can we all talk about Spider-Man or Far From Home trailer real quick?
Yeah, it was really good. I'm really excited for Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie. I want to see him as Mysterio.
A tear came out, like no joke. Seeing Mysterio look like legit Mysterio with the big fishbowl head and Hydro Man and possibly Sandman.
Yeah,
just so good.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
But I mean, it's kind of a bummer that they released this before like the Avengers Endgame, right? Because it kind of buries, like, it's kind of ruins the drama of Spider-Man being gone, right?
I don't know if it ruins the drama because that moment was just so perfect in Infinity War. But like, come on, it's just like Black Panther. That's $1 billion movie.
Yeah,
he's coming back.
Well,
like,
yeah, I know, but
you know, but no, I get what you're saying, Shannon. I was also going to mention this because I want to have a quick sports moment. How about my boys from Syracuse?
Oh, taking down Duke. It was a big one.
But
I'm the only person here that knows what you're talking about. But yeah,
that was a big win.
Huh? Yeah, I don't really like watching basketball. So,
Josh, just to educate you for a second, the Syracuse Orangemen are a non-ranked team that went into Duke, the number 1 ranked team. They went to Duke and they beat them last night in overtime. It was a very good win.
Oh, so I thought Syracuse was like some string cheese brand or something. Like I'd bet.
A lot of people in New York made a lot of money last night betting on Cuse. Like,
yes, they did because they were 17-point underdogs. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the only thing that's scaring me about Spider-Man: Far From Home is it looks like maybe Mysterio is a little Syndrome-esque from The Incredibles. Like, I'm a special effects guy that's going to make all these things and then fight them, quote unquote. Yes, I'm fighting them. And it's like, no, I think you're actually the bad guy here. But
he's shooting some kind of symbol from his hands. Like, that's the interesting part to me. Like, how is he doing that? Is that special effects or is that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. Hopefully we get another trailer soon. So
they're dropping even Hydro Man or something might be a special effect. It might actually be a character, I don't know. It depends on how they do it.
Yeah, they're dropping a John Wick 3 trailer this week too, and I'm super stoked for that.
Oh, dude, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, I love the second John Wick movie. Like, that movie was so good.
It's so freaking good.
Yep. All right, well, let's move on to our industry buzz section. We actually got quite a bit to talk about here, and we're going to start off with the doozy first because this dropped today, and I think we have a lot to talk about here. I'm actually going to pass this off to Robby. So, Robby, EA just canceled your Amy Henning Star Wars adventure game that you've been waiting like years for, right? Silence. No, you got nothing to say?
Just let him cry.
I wish. I just wish that I could get whatever executive made this decision at EA and just punch them in the throat. EA is just so freaking idiotic. They have probably one of the greatest IPs on the planet to make games with, and all they can continuously do is make not great Battlefront games that sell okay but don't sell great, and then they mishandle loot boxes, they mishandle microtransactions, they mishandle everything, and they're mishandling single-handedly probably my favorite world on Earth, my favorite fictional world. I have a freaking tattoo right here of that. You're wearing a freaking Star Wars shirt, Josh.
Woo!
And I don't care whose game it is. They continue to cancel Star Wars games. And I'm not getting my hopes up for Jedi Lost Order or Last Order. I'm not getting my hopes up for that until I freaking see a trailer or a confirmed date for the game. Like,
now, do you think they'll skip Battlefront this year and just go with the Respawn one? Like, what you just said the name of it, I just forgot it already. But because I was actually curious if they'd even do another Battlefront after what happened last time. But I wonder if they're actually going to just take that out and just replace it with the Respawn one.
I don't know. Like, this year, Episode 9 comes out, and it's going to be the conclusion to, in my opinion, an awesome Star Wars trilogy, and there's not going to be a Star Wars game coming out this year.
Mm-hmm. As far as we know, yeah.
As far as we know, like, how sad is that? Like, it started off with Star Wars 1313. Who the heck knows what happened there? I think I give them a little bit of a pass there because of the whole LucasArts transaction thing with Disney. Like, I'm fine with that one. But this game was supposed to go to Visceral, then it got switched, then it got changed, and now Respawn announces a game in the stands with fans. It was almost like this guy got handed a note. Hey, announce this game. We'll tell you more about it later. And then he announces it. And so now I have nothing to look forward to as a Star Wars fan. And look, I'm not trying to say woe is me. I know this is first world problems, but when it comes to video games, Star Wars should be one of the easiest games to make. And EA acts like it's freaking rocket science.
Yeah. See, this is what I was talking about last week in our predictions thing. Like, we were talking about Anthem, and I said I have no faith in Anthem because I know EA will find a way to screw it up. And
I also would argue, though, that this Star Wars game is canceled because of Anthem. Like, this game is canceled because they've pulled nothing but all of their resources to make Anthem good. Like EA, dude, that's the one thing that's giving me some faith in Anthem is EA has bet the house on this game.
We don't get a new Dragon Age if Anthem sucks. Like, we won't. And even though they kind of announced it, we won't get one. And that really makes me sad because Dragon Age Inquisition is very underrated and very good game. But from everything, Jason Schreier, I think, came out a couple months ago and said that Anthem is a do or die project for BioWare.
Yeah.
And so EA, I think Zach's right. Like, they are shutting. But Zach, don't you think it's weird though that they didn't halt production? They just canceled the game.
Well, but you also don't know what's behind the scenes. I mean, they also changed the game entirely. Like the Amy Henning game left when
Visceral
got shut down. They changed it to Vancouver, and Vancouver made it a whole like open world game. They changed entirely what that game was going to be already, and it might have just be, they looked at the actuarial tables and someone decided to stop throwing good money after bad money.
I just don't understand how they can look at the past 2 years, because I know this is what they think. I don't know how they can perceive looking at the last 2 years and say to themselves, single player games aren't viable anymore. Like, how can you think that?
I don't think they were thinking that. I think maybe like with the debacle that they faced with Battlefront 2, that maybe Disney was getting more involved and kind of curtailing a lot of things that EA wanted to do to generate revenue. And I think maybe there was a clash of ideas, and they thought it was easier to just scrap the project instead of moving forward and facing more flack or confrontation between the two parties.
So you think Bob Iger or someone jumped in there like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, like you guys screwed the pooch on the first with the loot boxes and everything, and gave us a big black eye with our property, and like that's not what we want to do with the gamers. Like, here, we're going to take more control of it. And they were, I think maybe on the back end, maybe they were butting heads a little bit more than they kind of released to the press. Maybe it was just easier for them.
Amy Henning left, right?
Yeah, she left with when Visceral went down, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know where she's at.
I just wish the IP of Star Wars would go to someone else. I really do.
I think you might get your wish, because this all from my 3,000 yard view sounds very much to me like, maybe to Shannon's point, Disney came in and been like, you're not doing any of this stuff. Any of these things you're building out, you're not treating our IP that way. Absolutely not. And EA has not had a good run with Star Wars at all, in the slightest. And it would not surprise me in, say, the next console generation or around that time for Disney just to yank it and be like, nope, you're done.
Who would you want to see it go to? For a while, I wanted to say Bethesda until last year. So,
honestly, just off the top of my head, and this I have not thought about this at all at length at all. But the guys who made Horizon Zero Dawn,
Guerrilla,
Guerrilla Games, just like, and it doesn't have to be exclusive. I don't care about that, but like, give them the IP that they know how to make good characters. They know how to make a great open world. They know how to make a beautiful game. They know how to make good combat. Like, just give it to them. Because that's my selfish side though. Like, I want a single player open world type game.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of houses that can do stuff like that though. I mean, Insomniac would make a good turn. Crystal
Sucker
Dynamics, Sucker Punch. There's more than a few that out there that I think could handle the job.
Agreed.
I don't know why Disney, with the money and revenue that they have, why don't they just open up their own production or their own development house?
They've tried that multiple times. And they always remember Epic Mickey and all that.
Well, they had Disney Interactive for a while. Yeah, that was big in like the 16-bit era and like 32-bit, like the PlayStation era.
But I think the whole Disney Infinity thing scared the bean counters at Disney enough to say, we'll just outsource that. That'll be someone else's problem.
Just license it out like they're doing with Marvel. You know, just, hey, who wants this? Pay a licensing fee. Show us that you're not going to screw up the IP. You know, give us a good solid pitch, and then you can use the IP.
Well, and that's probably what will happen when they get when this arrangement with EA gets dissolved. Like that's the thing is EA has the NFL agreement with Star Wars. You know that no one else can make a Star Wars property with unless it's EA, and that will end. I guarantee you that will end because right now Disney's just looking at all the money they're not making on their property by these games getting canceled,
and it just. It really, y'all have no idea. It really does break my freaking heart. Like that I can't get a decent Star Wars game.
You guys think we'll see the Respawn game? Do you think that'll get canceled eventually too?
I'm gonna stay positive and say yes, that game gets made because after Titanfall 2, I think Respawn knows what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, I hope we see it because I really like Respawn.
Me too.
Yeah, y'all remember nerding out about Titanfall 2?
God, Titanfall! So what a game! Let's stop recording and go play Titanfall.
The time travel level. Oh my gosh, so freaking!
Yeah, I kind of want to replay that now. I haven't played it on a Pro console yet or an Xbox One X. So,
Josh, didn't you play that on PC?
No, I played it on PS4. This is a standard one.
I want to play that on PC. I want to see how that is.
Yeah, I want to check it out on Xbox One X.
I got a 4K monitor for my computer. I can't afford a 4K TV yet, so
they're not worth it.
Yeah, I told Lisa, I was like, here's some breaking news that is not a big deal right now, but Lisa's deploying in January of next year.
Oh man, so you're gonna be solo with the baby?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah. But I told her by the time she deploys, college football will probably be in 4K, and so that'll be the time to buy a 4K TV.
Yeah, and she won't be there to argue with you. So there you go, man.
And I told her, I was like, I have power of attorney whenever you leave, so I can do it. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
She's like, Robbie, I don't think you know what power of attorney means. And I was like, I probably don't, but I still get to do what I want.
Nice. All right, let's move on. So we had another I'd say this is probably the biggest news story we've had this year so far, or 2 weeks into this year, that is. Bungie split from Activision. Like, they're done. Activision Blizzard, they're no longer partnering with them. But the cool thing is that they're retaining the rights to Destiny. Now, this was also broken out in a Kotaku article, and we learned the details. And apparently, Bungie has not had a good relationship with Activision ever since they were started developing in Destiny 1. And Jason Schreier even came out and said that there were employees that were popping bottles of champagne when they found out about this. So I guess that it was a pretty toxic relationship between the two. And this is a big deal. And I want to know, I want to ask you guys this. And Zach, let's start with you, man. Like, what do you think happened here? Like, what was the hate between these two? Like, what do you think happened? Do you think it had something to do with microtransactions or the way they were handling development or watching over them? Like, what do you think?
My guess would probably be that Bungie had a proof of concept with Destiny 1. They knew their product. They made it work. They sold very well. I mean, say what you want about the original Destiny. I like the shooting, but I'm not that big of a fan because there was just nothing to do in it, really. I mean, say what you want about the original Destiny. It sold. It was successful. It was a great proof of concept. And for them to now release Destiny 2, and I'm sure in between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, Activision got real nervous and saw all the complaints people had about the original Destiny and saw what they were doing with Destiny 2 and probably just tried to put one too many chefs in that kitchen when Bungie's like, look, we got this. We made a good game. We're making another great game. This one will be successful. Like, just get out of our way. And they probably didn't.
So you think Activision broke off with them instead of the other way around?
No. That's what I think, because no one loves money more than Activision.
Oh yeah.
And for them to, because I started thinking like you, Zach, the businessman side, like no one loves money more than them. And if they let Destiny go, it has to be because it's not making the money that they were expecting it to make.
Yeah, because that was the biggest thing to me, is that they let them keep the IP. It seems like if the IP was worth something to Activision, they would have not let their grasp off of that thing.
That depends on how much upfront Bungie paid now. That really is what that is.
No,
I mean, and to be fair, Bungie sounds like they bet hard on them. They bet hard on themselves. Like they leveraged the farm to get out from
it's
Activision.
Bungie. I mean, why would you not? You know, I mean, I would put all my faith in them too if I was them.
Yeah, and it's a deal that you only do as Bungie if you keep Destiny. Like you don't leave Activision unless you can take Destiny with you. So it's for them, it makes a lot of sense because now they can kind of write their own ticket. You know, I mean, hell, it would make a ton of sense for Microsoft to be a big time investor in Bungie again and bring all of that stuff first to Xbox and Microsoft PC and all that stuff, and then have a very much Minecraft type arrangement where you can play it on everything, but we get the best deal and it's the best cut here. Like that's how it would make a lot of sense to me.
You just want them to make another Halo game, don't you?
I do, but
you want Phil to whip out that page, that checkbook, don't you?
It ain't my money, so sure. No, but for me, I think it's very interesting to both your and Robbie's point that Activision would agree to this. I think it speaks more to the long-term health of Destiny as a brand. Probably speaks to the return that or the buying cycles they've seen on the microtransaction side, the long-term engagement of fans. I mean, there's very passionate Destiny players out there that it's their daily game. It's the one game they play, but I don't feel like it's growing. And Destiny 2 had a huge update, and I don't think it's a coincidence that 2 months after this big update is when all of this agreement came out. I think Bungie put a lot of work and spent a lot of money making this big update with these new raids and new things and streamlining and all the stuff they did. And 2 months later, Activision's like, yeah, that didn't do anything. We're out. And I think I really think that's kind of how it went down. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I think it's also, there was a control issue, I think, with Activision. And, like you guys were saying, like money is important. Like they want to get their cut. So, one of the biggest complaints that everybody had with Destiny is that it felt that, the initial game, there wasn't a lot of meat on that bone when you first started playing that game. Like you had to wait for like the expansions to come out. And even then with the expansions, you kind of felt that was probably the complete game. And I think maybe Bungie was starting to feel that way too. Like, you're ruining, maybe they felt that their brand was getting ruined with the control that Activision was adding to this game or their IP. So I think maybe, they were like, look, we want more control of this. We do have faith in this game. Like we do want to have that, we do want to have like our property so we can show you what it can do, and like we'll put out a game that'll have a little bit more substance to it instead of piecemealing everything to you and nickel and diming you for everything. I think maybe that they're going to go like maybe more of that more robust like style video game that their core base is going to like and will actually bring more casual gamers into that environment. I think it's a good move for them. Like, Zach was saying, it gives them more revenue. It gives them more freedom to do what they want with that game. And I'm really interested to see what they come out with that next, with like Destiny 3. Because I remember them saying that this was like a 3-game series they were planning, like a 10-year lifespan. And like, one went for what, like 2-3 years? And then the second one came out, and they're probably getting close to that right now. I'd be interested to see what they do now that they have the freedom to support this game the way that they want to with their ideas and their structures. So, I mean, more power to them. And like Zach was saying, I definitely see them going back to Microsoft and making this maybe like a proprietary thing or like you guys were saying, like a you get it first on Xbox and then later on it'll get passed out to everybody else. But I'm excited. I like Destiny. It was never really anything that I got into hardcore, but I love the game, but I just felt there wasn't enough there to keep me going, and it'll be interesting to see how it pans out for them.
Because I would say out of all of us, I'm probably the biggest fan of Destiny of the bunch. I loved both games quite a bit, but even I didn't even mess with Forsaken. Like, I just kind of had my fill, and I'm done with Destiny 2. I probably won't touch it until Destiny 3 comes out,
Yeah.
So they couldn't even get me on board. And I'm someone who put like 80 hours into the first game and probably about 40 into the second. But I remember when Destiny 2 came out, the game seemed to sell really well. Like, I remember it was just flying off the shelves at first. So I don't know if they just had a really hard time retaining players, or it's just hard to say. But I'm surprised you guys are taking it in a way that it wasn't Bungie who was the one that was splitting here, and it was Activision. I never even thought of it that way. I always just saw Activision as like the evil corporation, and Bungie being the little guy that wants to get away from that.
Well, and to be fair, the only reason I'm looking at it that way is Activision, from my understanding, had all the power. There's no way Bungie leaves if Activision doesn't let them go. And so, I'm sure they backed up the Brinks truck and paid Activision a ton of money to go, which sure greased those skids. But at the same time, if it didn't make sense for Bungie to leave, they wouldn't have left. That's what I think it basically comes down to for me.
I'm kind of like Josh in the sense of I love the first one, and when I say loved, I put 40 plus hours into it. I think that's worth my money. In Destiny 2, I fell off so fast. Here's the problem with Destiny 1 and 2. They had to do a DLC expansion to massively revamp or fix the game to bring people back in. And I think that just does not bode well for the success of a game. Yeah. And if Zach's right that Activision had all the power, that Bungie had all the power, then Activision isn't at fault for why those games had so little content.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately, wouldn't we all agree that that's its biggest problem, is that it didn't have enough content?
Yeah. And one interesting thing I heard about Anthem is that they said every piece of content in that game can be played with matchmaking, unlike Destiny, where you had to have a group of people that you knew or joined up with in order to fully enjoy that entire game. That's one thing that Anthem is doing differently. Do you think any of that bit them in the ass when that game came out? Because I know that was a bummer for me. I understand like the raids are hard to do with random people, but I was always on the line of thinking that at least give people a chance. I'm sure some group's going to join up randomly together and make it work. Why not give them the opportunity to try?
Well, and also it was a major lesson that seemed like they didn't learn from game 1 to game 2. It was one of those, like, they had a chance with Destiny 2 to fix that right out of the gate, and they didn't, and that lost a lot of people. Myself included. I was like, I literally don't have time to do this. So
I don't want to say something that I don't want to say this because I'm not the one who originally said it. It was from Giant Bomb, but I think they said it perfectly. Yeah, during their game of the year deliberation stuff, they overcompensated in Destiny 2 by making things a little bit too easy, but they still had a foundational problem, which was lack of content. And and also the thing is, like, they started off that game by saying previewing that game by saying it was a 10-year game.
Yeah,
that game was going to be a 10-year project. Like, it sounded like it was going to be WoW, but as a shooter, and it just never became that. And I don't know if that's Activision's fault. I don't know if that's Bungie's fault, or I don't know if that's just the evolution of online gaming right now. Like, you look at Fortnite, which is a free game, and it's the most popular game in the world, and you don't have to pay a single dime to play it. But yet there's plenty to do, and it's the same freaking map over and over and over again. And I I still play it, so I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying, like, why couldn't Bungie, the creator of one of the greatest series of all time, how could they have such problem with this? I just don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm really curious to see what they do without Activision, because my line of thinking when this first came out was, I'm thinking of Activision as the company who remastered a Call of Duty game and somehow found a way to put microtransactions into it that originally didn't have. To me, that's just the sleaziest thing you could do. So to me, I always just thought that Bungie, maybe because Bungie had some really weird microtransactions thrown in Destiny 2.
Oh, with the shaders and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
The shaders, what the stuff that like was you could customize however you wanted for nothing in the first game. To me, I thought maybe that was forced upon them by Activision. Maybe they didn't want to do it that way.
Very, very well might have been.
And they were tired of it. Maybe they were, maybe part of those choices, the bad choices they made were because Activision were pulling their strings. I don't know. It's hard to know how much the publisher has, how much influence they have over the developers. I haven't been in that situation. I don't know how much influence they have. I'm sure they have a lot of influence since they're, basically funding the majority of the game there. But I always just thought this was a breakup because Bungie didn't like working with Activision solely due to their business decisions.
Can we all just agree that Activision and EA are the devil?
Yeah.
I think the truth, Josh, is probably somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I think Bungie was probably dying to get out. There was probably way too many restraints, way too many people telling them what to do with their property and their game. And I'm sure it made for a contentious working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't producing that isn't what Activision bought. You got to remember, Activision paid a ton of money to acquire Bungie and get them to make Destiny for them. Like, they paid so much goddamn money, and that they were not getting the return on investment that was promised to them. They just weren't. And I'm sure the combination of all of that probably led to people sitting in a room going, look, guys, how do we get out? You're not happy. I'm not happy. Let's just do what's best for both of us here and go our separate ways. What's that number? What's the number? And I'm sure that's probably more likely the real scenario. So
interesting. I've never thought of it that way. Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to our last industry story. So Randy Pitchford popped back up in the news. So we got to talk about this, man. I'm sorry, but we got to.
Do we?
Yeah. So there's two things here. Number one, Randy Pitchford, apparently there's a lawsuit with Gearbox right now that he's giving himself just like free $12 million bonuses.
Well, it was first they were suing a lawyer that they say took a bunch of money from them. And in the countersuit, the lawyer who was Pitchford's counsel said, "Oh, no, I didn't take that money. Let me tell you who did, and I'm suing you for slander." And that's where the Randy Pitchford siphoning off $12 million of Gearbox money for his own personal gains comes into play.
Yeah. So they're battling it out. We don't really know what's going on here. But this isn't the first time we've heard something like this, because we got a recent story as well, again, from Activision, that they hired a new CFO. And all here is like a $15 million bonus for you. Just there you go. Sign on bonus. Do your job. Start doing your thing, And these big AAA companies, they act like they don't want to give these developers the budget to do what they want to do. We have so many. I mean, like EA is it EA? There's one of them that I can't think of the top of my head. Oh, it was Activision with Blizzard. Like, they made Blizzard like severely lower the budgets of their projects they're working on this year because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. But then they hire this guy and just give him $15 million then and there. Boom, you're done. So when I heard this about Randy Pitchford, it kind of reminds me of the same thing. Like, is this guy just siphoning money out of this company, but giving his studios bad budgets to make bad games? Because honestly, what has Gearbox done recently that has been good that is not a Borderlands game? Can you think of one? I can't think of one.
Answer that riddle is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so that's why I thought this sounded a little sleazy. Now, I don't know who's who's telling the truth here in this battle, but it just sucks when I hear that studios aren't getting their proper funding and games are turning out crappy because of it. And then you just got people just throwing money at each other at the top. You know, I'm just saying nothing new, but
well, and then there's also the other piece of this that came out in this story where a USB drive was left at a restaurant with very questionable content on it.
Porno.
Of very, let's say, illicit porno. You can read the story if you want to know more about it yourself. And then it comes out that, like, yeah, it was his. Yeah, he claimed it. Yeah, he said he was trying to figure it out for a magic trick or some bullshit. Like, what are you even doing, dude? You know, like.
But then weren't there also company secrets on there too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They had like design documents and all kinds of crap on there too, and someone found it. He admitted to all this on another podcast that he was featured on, and like, he didn't care. He's like, yeah, whatever. I left my porno flash drive sitting in medieval times of all places. So, yeah, I mean, shouldn't you check that stuff at the door? They didn't have those in medieval times. Come on, man. While you're sipping your Pepsi.
That poor stable boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, so I mean, this guy, every time he's in the news, I'm not a fan of Randy Pitchford. I mean, especially when Aliens Colonial Marines came out, and then everyone who said they didn't like that game, he just trashed them like they were crazy. Same with Duke Nukem when that came out too. Like, the guy just doesn't want to take any criticism at all. He thinks everything he does is golden, and he just seems like a big douche because
it's like Cliffy B.
Yeah, kind of like Cliffy B. Exactly. Yeah,
but without the track record.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Gearbox used to be quality. I mean, the early stuff they did with like the Half-Life expansions and stuff like that, they were great. Borderlands is good. I have no qualms against Borderlands, but a lot of the projects in between have been pretty nasty. So, I don't know, but I'm sure this isn't the last we're going to hear of old Randy Pitchford. You guys don't think he'll step down or anything because of this stuff, do you?
No, I mean, if it gets much worse, yes. Like, I mean, it's right on the border of one or two more things coming out, and yeah, you're gone. Like, you have to leave because you're going to get arrested. That sort of stuff.
Yeah. You think he's in that ballpark?
He's getting close there. He's in the parking lot of that ballpark. He parked the car.
He's tailgating.
He's got the barbecue set up.
Like, see, I know tailgating. I know some sports stuff. Yeah. All right. What was that, Shannon? I'm sorry, man. I cut you off.
I just said he was pre-gaming pretty hard over there.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our weekly consultation. Now, I can go ahead and tell you guys right now, I have been barely playing anything this week because I'm trying to hold my appetite for Resident Evil 2. I'm so excited for Resident Evil 2. Now, has anybody but me played this Resident Evil 2 demo?
I have not.
I have.
Okay. Thank you, Robby.
I've never.
Shannon? No.
Oh man, you guys are
Shannon's a big wuss.
Oh yeah,
that's not true. I want to play this game. But my TV will not let me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. The TV issue.
You're gonna tell more about that later.
You sound like the girl that wants to break up with her boyfriend, but she comes up with the excuse of he has my CDs. Like, I can't leave him. He's got my CDs.
Dude, that Ace of Base CD had some great memories, and I can't leave until I get it back.
He saw the sign and opened up his eyes. Yeah.
I legitimately did that freshman year of high school with my freshman year girlfriend over the Alice in Chains Jar of Flies CD. She had it, and I was like, I'm until I get it back, I'm not breaking up with her.
Mine was Chronic.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that CD so much. Josh, I had never played Resident Evil 2. It's the only Resident Evil I never played.
And dude, it's like the best one, man.
I know, and so I was gonna, I think last year or something like that, I was gonna try to finally play it, but then they announced the remake, and so I've been holding off, and I dove in the other day and I played that 30-minute demo. So I am very excited for this game.
So am I, man. I'm so
It looks
pumped.
so freaking good. It looks so good.
The gore in this game is insane.
Yes.
I have never seen the guts fall out of a dude and look so realistic before. Like, I thought I was looking at Rotten.com there for a minute. Like, it was It was intense.
You logged into Ogreish back in 1996.
yeah. I mean, with that engine, man. Oh my god! Like
you're watching an Eli Roth film.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is what was that? Green. I forgot the name
Inferno.
of it. Green Inferno. Yeah, it's like Green Inferno.
I actually saw that movie in theater.
Really?
You were the one.
You were the one. Yeah. But so this game is, I mean, I've only played the 30-minute demo. I finished it, luckily, within the 30 minutes. And there's actually an area where you can run around and actually kind of go outside of what they intend to. And I was kind of playing around in there as well. But this game is exactly what I've been wanting a Resident Evil game to be. It is scary. The zombies are a threat. The game plays almost identically to the original, but with more modern controls and graphics and gameplay mechanics. It's like they modernized the entire thing. The experience, from what I've played so far, it's still very much intact. You still got your locked doors with your crest keys and your night keys and armor keys and all that stuff. You still have your safe rooms with your typewriters. Now, I don't think there's ink ribbons in this as far as I know. I think you just go up to the typewriter and save. I could be wrong. They won't let you interact with the typewriters in the demo. They're like blocked off. They just have like a little X out of them or whatever.
If I remember correctly, I think someone had mentioned they did take that out.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I could be wrong though, but I could have swore that there was like a discussion that I read or heard that the ribbons was taken out. Like they wanted to make it modernized, but not take away from the experience.
If they do, that's a good idea because I mean, I don't know if I'd want to deal with it. I did with it back in the day. I dealt with the ink ribbons. I didn't really care. Nowadays, I don't know if I want to mess with the ink ribbons, you know? So it's a good idea if they cut those, but the typewriters are all still there. The safe rooms are like all pretty much exactly where I remembered them. But now all the characters and the events and everything that are going on within like that story are all very much more fleshed out, and there's more going on. The characters have more of a role to play. I love how they just dropped you off into the police station in the demo, and they didn't go through the whole beginning part because I'm really excited to see how they open this game with combined with how they opened the original, because that is like one of the most memorable openings out of any video game I've ever played. Is right when you hit those streets.
Don't.
Okay.
Never. Okay. I want you to talk about how excited you are. Just
okay.
And don't be specific because I've never played it. I want to know. I want to play this.
The beginning of the game is incredibly cool how they open it. Like, let's just say you don't start out in the police station, but I want to see how they do that in this game, and they didn't spoil that for me. So it's not like they just have you play the beginning of the game and just until like the 30 minutes is over and that's it. Like they put you in a nice meaty chunk of the game, but they don't spoil the whole beginning like process. So I was really happy they didn't do that because now when I go into the full game, I don't feel like I've like done this all before, you know, like I'm going to get new stuff and see like more of the story and how, you know, this situation happened. But you can only play as Leon in the demo, which is bummer. I was hoping to get to be Claire in there as well. But the graphics are insane. They use the RE7 engine. Leon looks awesome. Like they made him look very much like himself, but significantly younger. So this is like the first time you see him, and it makes sense. The mechanics are great. The gunplay is great. This game is set up to where you're not supposed to attack and kill every zombie that comes after you. It's not an action game. It's not like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 5 or 7 or 6. I mean, nothing like that. Like you have to pick and choose your battles. You still have to manage your inventory. You still have to manage your ammo and conserve. This is exactly what I wanted a Resident Evil game to be. And 7 was damn close, you know, like it was damn close, but this is perfect. And this is one of my favorite games of all time, the original Resident Evil 2. I've played this through that game probably more than any game other than Ocarina of Time. I've beaten that game so many times on so many different platforms in so many different ways. I adore it to death. I love that story. I love the environment. I cannot wait to see this in a different light. In just the 30 minutes that I played of it, they nailed it. There's so much there that's familiar and just how I remembered it, but in a completely different way to where it feels fresh and not just rehashed with better graphics. Guys, I'm so excited for this game. I am pumped for it. And I am keeping my plate clean until this game comes out because I'm going to be all over it.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really excited about this one too, because Resident Evil 2 for me was a game I played all the time, like freshman year of college. maybe.
Did you do all the different scenarios and everything too?
Oh, yeah, played as Tofu, all that crap.
Like, oh yeah, same here.
Because it was just one of those things that, at a time in my life when I had like 2 games, so I played Resident Evil 2 a lot, and but unlike you, I have not played it since then. So it's been like almost 20 years for me since I've played Resident Evil 2. And so for me, I'm curious to see like what feels familiar. What did I forget? What, all that, what's going to come back to me as I've, little secrets and areas along the way. So I'm excited in that regard.
Well, it's a lot like the Resident Evil remake they did for the first one for the GameCube. Like, yeah, I remember this room. I remember this spot. I remember this segment, but it's all done differently to where you recognize it, but the same events aren't going to happen to you this time around. Because I remember the first safe room that I found, and there was the room where you can develop film, like the little dark room in the back. I'm like, oh man, I remember that first safe room like that, and it's really cool. But you actually get to work with film and work, like get pictures developed in there that will give you clues for other puzzles and stuff like that. You have to explore your environments because there'll be notes and things that'll give you, access codes, stuff, and tips on what to do just from reading stuff from the environment, just like the original game did. But it plays like a modern third-person shooter. And you have to, these zombies are dangerous in this game. And the knife, just like on the original one, the knife is nearly useless. But you can actually stab them in the neck with it and like push them off you to make them stumble away. But then you got to collect that knife back. So you got to go get it off of them. You couldn't do that in the first Resident Evil 2. But everything just feels so good.
So like I said, I'd never played this game. I've played every Resident Evil game except for this one. I actually really like 3. I know that's probably dumb and weird.
No, 3's
no,
great.
no. Nemesis, dude, that's one of my favorite moments.
I love Nemesis so much. Obviously
you're going to be in for a treat with this game then, because there's a moment in Resident Evil 2 that's like Nemesis. But it's called Mr. X. But in the original Resident Evil 2, he wasn't until you got to the B scenarios, which is like you beat the game with one character, then like you go into a different scenario where you play through the game differently, and he comes in and he's just like Nemesis. Like they kind of use that concept to make Resident Evil 3. And apparently in this game, he's in the full blown, like the whole shebang, like he's in there. And
that's awesome.
There's a video out there. Yeah, there's a video out there where you can you get like some gameplay clips, and all you do is hear his boots stomping around, and you don't know where he's at, and he chases you throughout a big segment of the game, just like Nemesis did. So if you like Nemesis, you're going to love what they do with this.
The first time you play Resident Evil 3, having played Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 so much, and Nemesis bursts through a wall, and you run the F out of that room, and he followed you. Like he chases you into the next room, which never happened in the previous. It was like one of those moments of like, oh god, oh no, oh no, oh what do I do now?
Like what game then was doing that? Like I don't remember any game like having the AI follow you anywhere.
Yeah, and the zombies do that in this one. Like if you go into a door into the next room in Resident Evil 2 originally, they don't follow you in there. In this game, they will pound that door down and come right after you. So you got to deal with them.
I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the 30 minutes that I played. I won't lie. I died a couple of times just because I had to get back in that mindset of I can't fight every battle that I want to fight. But also, I had a thought. So we can just go ahead and assume that E3 this year we're going to get an announcement for RE3, right? Remake. We can just go ahead and assume that.
I'd rather see a Resident Evil 8. I'd rather see them do something new than maybe come back to 3.
Well, I wonder if if they have 2 studios doing that separately.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we know that RE1 made enough money for Capcom to make it a 2, obviously. And from what I understand, like y'all aren't the only people. Everyone I know is talking about this game and excited for it. So I'm just thinking like, and I know y'all, I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but I want an RE4 remake so bad.
Yeah, like a modern feeling RE4.
I'd play that. Yeah.
Yeah. But can we just take a second and have a moment of silence for the greatness that Capcom has now ascended to over the last couple years?
We talked about this last week. Yep.
Like just how forgettable they were as a studio, and now like they're up here in the echelon of trusted game developers again.
Yeah.
Like glad to see you listen to the show, Robby.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize. But no, I'm super excited for it. Can we? I know that this wasn't on the schedule. Can we just take a second and can we just talk about Kingdom Hearts for a moment? Just really quickly. So Zach is actually going to be surprised by how I feel on this. So I loved Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Like I put as much hours as you can put into that game. I got the ultimate weapon in both games. Like I love those games. But I don't know if I care anymore about Kingdom Hearts.
Is it because you're older?
It could be that, or it could be because nostalgia for me only lasts so long.
Man, you just pissed Shannon off so much.
Shannon's done walked out, man.
No. Shannon, hear me out. Hear me out,
back, Shannon. Sit back down, please.
Shannon, hear me out.
Oh my God!
No, just
really?
Hold on. Just listen.
No, we're not friends anymore. No.
I'm going to get the game.
Give me my Ace of Base CD back. Give it back. Give it back.
You gave me that CD. I'm keeping it. I love those games so much. Specifically, I was introduced to Kingdom Hearts 2 after a breakup, and like Kingdom Hearts 2 just helped me so much. Like I love that game I love it. But it's just been It's been 13 years. Is that how long it's been?
Something like that, yeah. Well, they had a million games in between on various platforms.
But I don't freaking care about those side games. Apparently,
you have to play them to know what's going on in this one.
Yeah, I know. And I just was thinking about it a couple of days ago. Like, I'm gonna get the game, but I feel like I'm getting the game because, 18-year-old Robby got the second game. And 18 or 20-year-old Robby loved the second game so very much. Like, so I'm obviously going to love this game once I start playing, and I may very well love it once I start playing, but I just don't have this huge affinity now to just like, I'm not hankering to play it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, now this game comes out 4 days after Resident Evil 2 does. Are you buying both, and which one are you devoting more time to?
Probably
I already know what Shannon's answer is.
I'm probably Resident Evil 2.
Okay. All right.
Because, and the reason being is because the weekend, because they both come out the same week, but the weekend that Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, I'm actually going on a ski trip with my college group, so I'll be gone for the weekend, so I won't have time to dive into it. So RE2 will probably be it, but also I've never played RE2, and I love horror games. I just don't know if Disney is enough for me anymore. But with that said, watch, I'm gonna put it in, and the moment they even hint that Cloud is in the game, I'm gonna lose my crap, and I'm just gonna nerd the hell out.
Didn't they confirm that no Final Fantasy characters were in this one? I thought I read somewhere that they confirmed that.
I don't know, but
I could be wrong. Don't pay attention, everyone listening. I could be wrong.
If that's the case, I don't want that game. Like,
because I mean, how would you not put them in? Every other one did.
Look. All I know is the Tuesday after that game comes out, we're gonna record, and I'm gonna be the only one that hasn't played it.
Well, I probably won't either.
No, I know you, and you'll buy that shit. And you'll be like, "Oh, I barely touched it. I put like."
But I really want to know. I really want to know how good it is. I really want to know if it's worth it.
I'm gonna prove you wrong, Zach. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
I'm gonna wait till Wednesday.
Shannon, so I assume you're a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, correct?
I am.
Wednesday.
I mean, Shannon, I love the first two. Like I said, I do. I adore them.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know, man. My nostalgia only goes so far, and Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15, I think, just hurt me. Not in the sense that it was a bad game, because I actually really love 15. But I waited freaking 10 years for that game, and while it was a really good game, it was not worth the 10-year wait. And I just don't know if this game will be able to be worth a 13-year wait.
Yeah, it's got big shoes to fill.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I know you're probably expecting something. I mean, because graphically, it doesn't really look like it's that much more impressive than any of the other
certain parts of that game look freaking gorgeous.
Toy Story stuff looks good.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I get the bar is set pretty high. I get the expectations are high, and I was just a little disappointed. I thought you were going to be more on the hype train with me. Then now I'm riding that train by myself.
The only thing
how about I'm on the caboose? I'll be on the caboose of the.
You're on the hype caboose.
Yeah, I'm on the caboose with you.
The only thing I will say to that outlook of, I'm not sure if it's worth a 13-year wait, is it's almost unfair to the game to do that, because the team that started that game 13 years ago doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure certain players have been involved the whole time, but for the majority, this thing has changed so many times, so many iterations. And sure, there's been a thing called Kingdom Hearts 3 talked about for 13 years, but in reality, probably not. The reality is
that's a fair point.
And so it probably took a bunch of people working really hard to even get them to agree to make it in the first place. Because I'm sure this sat on a shelf for years, just not wanting to be, not wanting to admit that it's canned, but it just got shelved. And finally they ramped it up, and here it is. And so I think that it's a little unfair to be like, I've waited 13 years, and a lot of people have. I mean, I won't say those feelings are not warranted, but in reality, it's a little unfair to put it on it that way. Because
thanks for making me feel bad. I appreciate that.
Well, because it's not like
a jerk, man.
It's not like Square. It's not like Square's been hyping this for 13 years.
That's fair. I think also I just have a bad taste towards Square Enix in general. I just feel like
that's kind of where I'm at.
What have they done recently to make me believe in them, or make me we can still make Final Fantasy VII remake jokes. Those are still there. Those are still funny, and they're still true. Where is that game? Final Fantasy 15 is now not getting the DLC that players were promised.
Hey, my grandchildren are going to love playing that Final Fantasy VII.
I think also part of it is Square, but Zach, you make a really good point that it's not the same team, and let's not forget that we have heard many, many stories that Disney is almost impossible to work with their IP and giving up rights to certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
They are very rough to work with, which is part of the reason why I will not believe that we're getting that Crystal Dynamics Avengers game until they show it to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't mean to bring that up and derail us. I just wanted to see what y'all thought, because we're so close to that game coming out.
No, you just wanted to crush my hopes and dreams. That's fine. I get it.
Well, speaking of Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, I've got a little game that I played and beat over the weekend, and that would be Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
You beat it? Okay.
I beat it. Yeah, I played it all the way through the end.
How long did it take you, out of curiosity?
Probably 10-ish hours, 10 to 12, something like that.
Okay. Is it mediocre, as everyone says?
Yeah, and it's really disappointing, because Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider are two of my favorite games from over the last two generations. The problem they had with this game is they listened to the feedback too much. There was way too, because if you guys remember when Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider first came out, there was all this grousing of but where are the tombs? It's Tomb Raider, and all I'm doing is shooting people and blah, blah, blah.
Shoot Raider.
yeah, all these horrible Twitter jokes. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, oh, great. Let's make it so you barely fight people. And when you fight people, it's kind of annoying, because you're just trying to progress the story. But now there's fight rooms that you've got to get your work your way through. And you do a lot of climbing and a lot of exploring and a lot of digging and a lot of all that stuff that, how that I'm playing it, I'm like, yeah, bring me the shooting back. Because guess what you nailed in the first two games, guys? The combat. The combat was super fun. And that's the thing you really figured out. You got it. It was better than Uncharted because the combat was better. I'm sorry. The first two Tomb Raider games of this reboot are more fun to play than the Uncharted games.
I agree.
Like, I mean, Uncharted's got a better story, but Tomb Raider was just more fun to play. Like, I could just sit down and play Tomb Raider all day. Like, I 100%ed both games. You know, I played the first Tomb Raider reboot on 360, PS3, and then I bought the HD on sale for Xbox One too, and beat it there again. Like, I just loved that game and could play it incessantly. This one, it's like the open world got way too big. The quests that they give you don't really matter. I mean, they give you let me stop right there. They don't matter in regards to the story. Like, Lara Croft pulls a dagger out of something she shouldn't have pulled out, which starts this like world-ending cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she has created, this cataclysm has created tsunamis and earthquakes and meteors and all of this stuff. Like, hundreds of people are dying because of her actions and all this. And yeah, let's stop and find this kid's dice, because sure, why not? Like, let's go talk to these 4 people in the village that are outcasts just to make them feel better. But no, what are you doing? Like, the world, literally the world is ending. And like, you're like, yeah, kid, I can grab this dice that kid stole from you. What the no, you're like, kick bricks, kid. Like, fucking go grab your own dice. What are you doing? So you have, I mean, I have that mindset. And so I don't do any of these quests until you find out that, like, oh, hey, the rope ascender that is super helpful and you really need in some things, they're hidden behind these quests. You need an upgraded knife to get behind these 4 doors. Guess what quest you got to do? Like, it's all that type of stuff where it just takes you out of the game itself to like go do these like pedantic, idiotic side quests that they've penciled in and hidden really essential gear behind. And it kills me. It just
because the other two were like Metroidvania games. Like, as you progress through the story, they give you the tools you need to continue on. Like, you didn't really have to do side quests to get that stuff. From what I know some of them you could grind like the little crates full of the stuff to make your stuff better. Yeah. But yeah, like that seems kind of a bummer, because I have the game. I've played a decent chunk of it. I can't bring myself to finish it. Like, it just doesn't click with me like the other two did. And
I'll tell you, the story actually gets good. Like, it's the thing that got me to finish the game. I wanted to see how it ends. And yeah. It's you find, just to give the big overview, it's all based in like Incan Mayan legend. She pulls a dagger out that basically releases a god that starts this end of the world thing, and she needs to reunite the dagger with this box, the silver box that gives her the power, or whoever is wielding the box, the power to end it, to stop this event. And she finds this hidden village, and these people were protecting the box. There's this super cool group of like humanoid creatures that are like the guardians of the temple where the box was hidden, and all this stuff that like, and you discover all this as you go along, and it's really neat. It's a great yarn that spun along the way, but it's just the little moments where they padded it just so much to make it an open world experience, to make it like a bigger, fluffier thing where, man, that game needed an editor bad. Like, it needed someone to be like, nope, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. Just get back to the point, get back to the story. Because the story is good.
You want the game to be more linear.
Yeah. That game would have, if that game was made in the mold of Tomb Raider 1, it would have flowed so much better. It's the story that they're telling isn't, even though it's the entire world and it's an apocalyptic thing, it isn't a big enough story to handle the weight that they attach to it.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, because guess what? The combat's still really good. Like, shooting guys in the face with arrows still feels great. Like, it's really fun to do. And
that's what got me through Far Cry 5. Yeah. The bow and arrow to the face is still one of the funnest things in the world to do.
It's great, but then there's like the whole thing where it's like you're in a hidden village in Peru that's like cut off from civilization. Everyone speaks English. That's fine. Like, it's cool. No one, what?
This
Like,
game felt rushed out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
yeah.
when I saw that it was announced, what, 2 years or a year and a half ago, like I was like, okay, that's cool. Like it felt like it just came out so fast compared to 2. And look, I could be completely wrong, but I mean, all roads or all word is that we're not going to get another one.
And they wrap the story up that way. Like the story ends succinctly. Like they're not really. It's kind of Uncharted 4 in that regard. When the story's over, you're like, yeah, that's it. Okay, I got it. And which is unfortunate because, like I said, I like the story. It goes in good places. It does some cool things. It's just the padding they added to this game was unnecessary. It kills a lot of those moments for you.
Yeah.
In the course of it.
I will say that game's dope on Xbox One X though.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
There is a moment I just have to say that it actually made me and my wife laugh out loud. So there's a part where no, it was not a comedy. Okay. It was not done for comedy. But so you're fighting Trinity still, and there's a point where you're trying to get to this temple, and they're attacking you with a helicopter, and they blow you guys out of the water, and you basically wake up, and your Jonah, the guy that's traveling with you, is gone. Call comes on the radio from the bad guy that they killed him. Ha ha ha. And she makes her way to this oil refinery that then blows up because why not? Everything blows up. Falls in, and the group is standing by the Trinity soldiers are by the river, like, oh, that's it. We finally got her. Oh, geez, it's finally over. And it's like wall of fire, and she like slowly ascends from the water, like standing slowly with this wall of fire behind her. And the soldiers are like, oh my God. Ah! and it's totally like she is a horror movie villain right in that moment. Like Lara Croft is the biggest Jason, Voorhees character you've ever seen in your life. And these people are running in terror. And it's one of those, like, it's so dumb. It's just so.
Are we talking like an Apocalypse Now kind of thing where she comes up out of the.
Yeah, like super slow, like she's in a silhouette, and there's this wall of fire behind her, and there's like, and it's just it was so dumb. Like we were both like, is she the good guy or is she the bad guy? Because right now it's like she's the bad guy. I don't know. It was still fun. I still like playing it. It wouldn't have cracked my top 10. It was worth playing for the story for me because I was a fan of the story, but. And again, if you are like me and love the mechanics of Tomb Raider, it's good for that. It's just my advice would be just streamline it. Just go through it. Figure out on a walkthrough what you need for the gear you need to knock those little BS storylines out. Because you also don't need to upgrade everything. You can get through it pretty fast. Like the big battles are not all that hard, to be honest, if you're on a normal difficulty. So play it for the story, stick to the main line, and it's a pretty good experience. But like I 100% of the other ones, I'm not going back to that game. I'm not. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. I beat it. I saw the story. I'm good.
I don't even know if I'll go back to it, man. It just didn't click with me. It's just one of those games.
I get that, but where have you hit the hidden city yet?
No, I didn't even see the little humanoid dude you're talking about. I got to the point where like you heard them. Mm-hmm. And you saw like the aftermath of them, but I haven't actually seen them yet. So that's as far as I got.
Yeah,
but that's not very far, I'm assuming.
You probably got, I would say, like 8 more hours of game there.
Yeah, that sounds about.
But again,
right.
if you just stick to the main line, it's a pretty fun ride. Like the story does cool things. Like it goes in cool places. But
does Jonah ever get out of the friend zone?
With Laura, no.
No, poor guy. I feel bad for him.
But he gets a love interest halfway through that game. So
that's cool. So he's not. He's not as thirsty.
No. Okay. He ain't got that thirst.
All right, cool beans. Shannon, you been playing anything, man?
No.
Well, okay. So tell us, man, what happened?
I mean, you own a Switch, dude. What the hell?
I know, but like, it's not fun playing Smash Brothers on in handheld mode. I'm sorry, it's just not for me anymore. Now that I've tasted the awesomeness that is playing it on a big screen TV. But
The
yeah,
sweet,
so like
sweet nectar of the 55-inch screen.
So shortly after our podcast last week, I came home from work the next day, and the babysitter was like, "Your TV's not working," and I was like, "Oh, really? This TV is less than 2 years old. It's a Samsung 4K, 55-inch TV." And I turn it on, and sure enough, all I get is like vertical color, just just bars of color on the screen. So I'm like, oh man, this sucks. Maybe it's just Comcast, because Comcast in my neighborhood really sucks. So I'm just gonna futz around with the audio or the menu for the TV. Bring up the menus behind the bars too. So I'm like, great, this is a TV issue. So I called Best Buy, because that's where I bought the TV, and I had a warranty with them, and they were like, this is it's covered under warranty, so we'll just send somebody out to take a look at it. And I said, that's great. And then we scheduled a time. It was for Friday. Friday comes around between 12 and 5. I get a call probably about 12 o'clock from this guy. I live in a city called Hayward. The dude, the guy that they passed me off to, his office was in Saratoga. And I don't know if you guys know how far away that is, but it's Zach would know. It's 45 minutes on a good day with no traffic. It's probably 2 to 3 hours with bad traffic to get to my house from there. So dude's like, I'm not coming out to your house. You can take a picture of what's going on with the TV, and you can get a serial number off the back of the TV, and then I'll tell you if you can get a new one or if I have to try to fix it. So I get home, take a picture. He's like, okay, it's not a cracked screen, so it's probably a board. Get me that part number. Well, I got the slim mounted, like streamline flush mount, like wall mount for my TV. So now I have to try to figure out how to get this thing off the wall without breaking it. So I'm telling him, I was like, dude, I probably need somebody else here to help me out. And they said, no, like Best Buy should have told you it's company policy for you to have the TV unmounted before we can do any type of work to it.
Ouch.
So I finally get the TV off of the wall after much swearing and cussing. And I get the part number, I get the serial number for him off the back of the TV. He orders the board. He says, okay, well, there's no expedited shipping on this. Best Buy doesn't do any of that. So you have to wait 5 to 7 business days for the board to come in. And then we can try the board. And if that doesn't work, then you can go back to Best Buy and get a new TV and then schedule a new installation for your new TV with them. So as of right now, I've gone probably close to, like, it's been like 5 days without a TV or like any kind of video game setup in the front room. Which makes it even more frustrating because I have all the cables and everything ran through the wall, from my entertainment center to the TV. So that's going to be a whole nother issue if I decide I want to move all of my consoles into the office here and put it on this Panasonic TV that I've had for 13 years that seems to have no problems running. So Samsung, I would just like to say you suck, and I will never buy another one of your products ever again.
And you said this isn't the first one you've had do this, right?
No, this is the second Samsung TV, and the guy at the Best Buy, I don't even know why I listened to him. He was I'm kicking myself in the ass on every single step I took buying this TV. Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, like we know, or they knew about the problems with that TV that you had before, and they fixed it on this TV. Like this is like their top of the line TV. You will not have any problems with it. It will last you like 15 years. I was like, great, that's awesome. That's what I like to hear, especially when I'm going to drop like 2 G's on a TV. And yeah, it lasted 2 years, a little less than 2 years.
So, that's a bummer.
So, yeah.
So why can't they? I mean, they should have just let you replace the damn TV and skip all the stupid part ordering stuff.
Yeah, and I don't understand why they don't. Like the board probably is half the price of the TV to begin with. But the guy was like, the reason he wanted a picture of the screen is because he wanted to find out if there was an actual like crack that was causing the problem in the display. And he had mentioned that if it was actually the display that that had broken, that's like almost like 70 to 80% of the cost of the TV is just that screen. Mm-hmm. So they were saying, most of the time, if it's a screen, that they'll just send it, they'll just tell you right away. They won't even bother sending somebody out to fix it. so, I mean, that prompted me to want to throw something at the TV just to break it and say it was broken. But the guy was like, no, you've already told me, like, you're pretty much, I have to write that in the report and blah, blah, blah. I was like, come on, dude. You can't be cool like that. You can't just say,
man, hook me up.
Got a cracked screen.
I'll be honest with you, Shannon. I've never had any of those issues. I'll start off with that. But I have a 70-inch perfectly good smart TV LED that I've had for a couple years now that's Vizio, and I will probably never buy another type of TV than Vizio because it's just been so perfect, and they've been perfect anytime I've had issues. So that's hey, Vizio, give us a sponsorship. What's up?
Yeah, I went with a TCL TV because those things have been up and coming. Like the reviews on them have been fantastic. If you're a gamer, especially because they have very low input latency. So when I went and picked out my first 4K TV, I got one of the really good ones through them, and it was like a fraction of the price. And I've been super happy with that thing. It's got a great picture on it, full HDR, Roku built in. It's been really, really good. Now I've only had it for like a year, so knock on wood, it could shit the bed like Shannon's. But as of right now, I've been pretty happy with that too.
All I know is Shannon is way more patient than me. Like,
oh yeah, I would have freaking lost it.
When that thing came off the wall, and that's what I'm getting told. I am driving to Best Buy with that TV, and I am not leaving until I get a new one. Like, I will embarrass myself and everyone else in that goddamn store. Like, I do not care. Like, it's one of those, like, I ain't gonna see any of you assholes again anyway. Like, you have a product, you need to back it, and we are here. You are dealing with me now in person. Like that is, you are not hiding behind a phone. You are not hiding behind that desk. I am standing right here with this goddamn TV, and you are going to take it. Like,
I wish I had balls like that, man. I just don't. I'm too much of a softie. I'd get there and they're like, "No, we ain't gonna do it." And I'd be like, "Okay," and I'll walk away.
Man. I mean, that's how I got my 1080 Ti graphics card.
Really?
Yeah, I got an upgrade for free. I had a 1070, and
that's what I have. Yeah.
The HDMI port didn't work out of box. It wasn't registering at all. But then there was something else wrong with it from a power supply perspective, and the power supply shorted out it shorted out my power supply. So I had to replace my power supply because of this faulty 1070 or whatever. And so I called them, and they were talking about, oh, we're going to need you to send it to us so we can verify that. And I said, I'm not sending you anything. I just bought this today from Best Buy. I can prove it to you. You will fix this, or I will never buy another product from you. And they said, well, sir, hold on. And I got some assistant manager or whatever, and he was very happy to help me. And he's like, here's what I'm going to do. Just send me the 1070, and I will send you an upgraded 1080 Ti on my way to you right now. And I was like, done. And that's why I have a 1080 Ti. And Geralt's hair has never looked so good in Witcher 3.
Yeah.
No, I'm a total dick to deal with, and I will admit it. Like, I'm that customer that people hate when it's one of those, like, I'm the person that when the person first sees you and you're like, oh, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, this is the situation. They're like, well, I'm the one that's like, well, you can't help me, so get me someone that can. Yeah. Like, I'm literally done talking to you. No more words. Find me someone else. You can't help me. Like, I'm that person. Like, because I will not take the time. I don't want to play the game. I'm not going to sit there and let you.
My wife
you type on the computer and figure out phone number. No. Someone here, it is like the movie Payback. You go up high enough, it all goes to one person. Someone can make the call.
Yeah.
And look, and sometimes it is my fault. It's user error, and I will admit user error, but I'm also not an idiot. And so
I get freaking indignant if it's not my fault. Like, I am.
Yeah. Like, yes, but I'm sorry that's happened to you, Shannon.
That's rough, man.
I have a Samsung that I can send you if you want it. It's 50 inches.
No, it's thank you for the offer. I got I'm gonna go over to Michael Grimm's house and borrow one of his 30 TVs that he just has
he'll never know.
around.
He'll never know it's gone.
No, he won't. I'll just be in and out before he even notices.
Yeah. Hopefully you get it fixed before Kingdom Hearts drops, man.
I hope I get it before Resident Evil. Like I honestly,
You're not
there's
gonna play
10
that
days.
game. You're not.
I am. I bet you want to talk. Let's put some money down. I'll get that. I'll get that game day one. I'll play it. I'll play it, and then I'll be scared.
Are you gonna play it through? Are you gonna
Huh?
play it through, or are you gonna play 2 hours and then like, I just crap
2
my
hours.
pants?
He's gonna play the opening credits and be like, "No, I'm good."
No, like Resident
He'll play to
Evil
that
2,
first achievement, so he's like, "You can see on my trophy list. It's there."
Resident Evil 2 is the only Resident Evil game I've actually played and beat, so I want to get back into that game.
He's gonna
I
magically
won't play.
disconnect from PSN and
Yeah,
he's gonna tell everybody he beat the game, and there's gonna be no proof.
Oh, my trophies just don't sync. I don't know what's going
I
on.
did all
what's going on,
online,
guys.
man. I don't have that PlayStation Plus. What are you talking about?
Shannon's like, I fucking hate you guys.
Just to go ahead and finish this segment, I will say that I've been playing Smash Brothers, along with Metal Gear Revengeance, which is just pure eye candy, and for a game that is so old, it looks freaking great on PC. I just want to point that out.
Mhm.
And it is
Just
just
get tough though, man.
Huh?
Some of the bosses, they can get tough.
Yeah, I've only had 2 bosses so far, but it was just fun, like dumb eye candy palate cleansing video game. But then I got Smash, and I've been playing through that, and I mean it's your typical Smash game. I mean, if you like that, then good. And I'm glad that Ness was easy to open up early on because I love Lucas, but Ness has the same power set, so it's been fun to play that. I will say that I do have a major complaint though about that game. It should not take this long to open those characters.
I had the exact same complaint.
It just
How many characters do you have unlocked?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
He's gonna go grab the Switch. It took me, I think, like 5 hours to unlock them all.
Dude, it's taken me way more. Like just trying to unlock it without doing the cheap method. Like it's taken me way longer than that to just get half of them.
Yeah.
I started I was just doing arcade where I just play them over and over again, like, and then I got tired of that, and then I realized I remembered that someone had told me that there was the story mode, and so
World of Light.
Yeah, so I started started playing that, and I was like, okay, well maybe this is quicker. Maybe this will be quicker. Hell no, it ain't quicker. It's like playing a bunch of freaking modded versions of the characters, but then it still takes like you don't get to open a character even though you beat them. Like
Well, my best way to unlock characters is when you realize Smash isn't fun to play and you don't play it. That's my favorite way to unlock characters.
I'm having fun playing the game. I just don't like. I have not played online yet. I did buy Nintendo's online service though.
I did too.
I only bought 3 months though because I was like, I'm not gonna get sucked in just yet. Like I'm gonna wait and see how it goes.
I'm still telling you, it would be fun to get in on some Smash before we actually podcast. Get it like a little bout, and just kind of get that aggression out.
Yeah, I can see that. But why the hell is this not letting me? A new foe has appeared. I don't care. Hold on, y'all talk while I beat this Wii Fit trainer because I want to know how many I have.
All right.
Oh, dude, I rocked that Wii Fit trainer, dude. I just manhandled her when I fought her. It was pretty funny.
Easy.
That's misogynistic, man. Jeez.
Not cool, bro.
All right.
What, tsunami?
Well, while Robbie's doing that, we'll go ahead and move on to our off-topic week in review section here. Now, Shannon already went into his TV issues there. Hopefully, you get
wait. I've got something to bring up here that I need to address. It was brought to my attention on Twitter today. Mr. I don't know his actual name, but it's Zoso1701 on Twitter, ZOSO1701 on Twitter. He's a streamer. And he said his unpopular movie opinion was that Jurassic Park 3 is better than Lost World. And I'm sitting here flabbergasted. Is anyone think Lost World is better than Jurassic Park 3?
No.
Anyone?
No.
Like, Lost World is the worst movie.
Take out the last 15 minutes where it becomes a Godzilla film. I watched Jurassic Park 2 last year. If you take out the last 15 minutes of Godzilla, it is a very tense film. it is very fun to watch. But then the last 15-20 minutes happen, and then it's just
that's like saying like make the gameplay fun in Red Dead, and that's a great game.
I had fun with 2. Yeah. I'll just say that I had fun watching 2.
I had no problem with either one of them, but I think I did enjoy 3 more than 2.
Oh, 3 is great.
I don't remember.
You got
3.
the Spinosaurus. That's like the whole like crocodile thing where it swallows a satellite phone and they can hear it coming and all that. There's you get the scene that you wanted from the first Jurassic Park where from the book anyway, where the T-Rex is in the river and it's swimming after them as they're in the boat. Replace the T-Rex with a goddamn Spinosaurus, and that's what you get in Jurassic Park 3 because it kicks ass. You get the aviary sequence with the pterodactyls that are all sorts of badassness. Like Jurassic Park 3 is amazing. It's great. It's such a fun movie.
I have 18 characters.
18. Oh yeah, you got a way to go, man.
Yeah, no crap. This shouldn't take so freaking long.
It took me 5 hours just to get the cheat method, so it takes some time, man.
I mean, Fallen Kingdom is Lost World bad. Like that's
to me, that's the worst one of them.
Fallen Kingdom's the worst.
Fallen Kingdom. I walked out of that movie so angry because I said, "This is just Lost World. This is just Lost World."
Yeah.
But now what they did was they showed us the black market in which the dinosaurs were sold, because that's exactly what they're trying to do in Lost World. They want to sell them on the black market, and then all of a sudden we see the bidding war. That's it.
Nothing about Fallen Kingdom makes any goddamn sense. Like nothing. Like there is. Why do they even go to the island? The entire
save the dinosaurs.
No, but if you look at the movie, they could have just fast forwarded that whole part, and the movie doesn't change.
But they had to show you. They had to show the Brontosaurus dying with the lava.
Yeah, I needed to get kicked in the balls because I like Jurassic Park movie. Hey, you like these movies, right? I'm gonna kick you square in the nuts. How's that feel?
Like, while we're asking movie like plot twist questions or whatever, like why didn't Gandalf just summon the owls in the beginning and fly their asses to Mordor instead of having them walk?
Man, Robbie, deep breath.
Robbie's got the explanation to this. If anyone's got the explanation,
the vein in Robbie's forehead's about to push the hat off his face. Because you said owls, not eagles, first off. Like right there. It's a
freaking bird. It's a bird. It was a big bird, all right?
Mother of God.
Oh, shit.
People need to watch the video of this because Robbie's face when you said, why didn't he just summon the owls? Like, it was this mixture of like disgust and disbelief and utter shock, like all put together in once. Oh my God.
I will say this and I will move on. In the books, it is explained why that does not happen. There is a reason. And if you want to know the reason, and if you want to know the reason, you can freaking go read the book, Shannon. Mother effer. Like freaking what is this? Freaking Owls of Ga'Hoole? This Zack Snyder's film?
Sorry. I got a little Hogwarts in me.
Dude, I mean, I know he took shots at Kingdom Hearts, Shannon, but damn, like, man, just
that I think this is going to be like probably one of my favorite things about having Robbie on the podcast is now that like we have we can swear like pretty freely. My goal is to just hear him bless my ears with like a cuss, like I almost got mother effer. I got
the closest in the 5 years I have known Robbie. That is the closest I've ever heard him to swearing. Like I thought it was going to go down. He did
tell me to suck his balls once. I will tell you that.
And I think I did say one time you can eat a dick. I think I did.
Yeah, that's true.
But Shannon, I'm not going to go get it because I don't want to leave the broadcast again. But I have Orcrist, freaking Thorin Oakenshield sword hanging right over here on my wall. I will stab you in the heart if you ever call them owls again. You understand me? I will stab you straight in the freaking heart.
Oh man.
Jeez. All right.
It's like my favorite moment of the last month. That was so great.
So are we done with Jurassic Park? Do you have any more you want to? Okay.
No, with that said, Lost World, the first not with Lost World, Jurassic World was really good. I
like Jurassic.
I liked it a lot. I mean, sure, it was just Jurassic Park again, but I was down.
That's the Force Awakens of dinosaur movies.
Totally, it was the greatest hits package for sure.
It's a hell of a lot better when we got in that sequel, though. I watched a bootleg of that and I won my money back.
Well,
like it was terrible.
Fallen Kingdom did the same thing. Like there's, the Brachiosaurus reveal from the first movie when they get back to Jurassic World Park, with the Apatosaurus that walks through. And then there's Lex in the thing trying to pull it down, when the raptor smashes its head, but now she's in a dumbwaiter. Like there's literally like shot for shot scenes taken from all the movies in Fallen Kingdom, and it's so lame.
I will say this though, visually that movie was awesome to see in theater. Like,
it was
like,
cool.
Like it had the spectacle of it, but that's
the whole volcano scene was kind of cool. Like when they're running through the volcano or whatever, like the whole island's like erupting or whatever. That was kind of cool. But after that moment, like there was really not much left enjoyment wise through the rest of it. It was I don't know, man. I really did not like that movie.
Yeah. No, me either. I walked out very upset.
All right. Man, I don't know how to top that with me, man. This is the dinosaurs and the Shannon, hating on Tolkien over here. So yeah.
When did Gandalf teach at Hogwarts, Robbie?
Shut your whore mouth.
Did he found the school or?
Jeez.
Dumbledore the White.
Dumbledore Gandalf?
Yes. Yeah. So I've told this story before, but I don't know if anyone remembers, but Robbie, I think something similar happened to you. Didn't you just buy a home and then something terrible happened to your house? Didn't you have like a room flood or something like that?
Yeah, I've been dealing with copper pipe leaks for the last year, and the funny thing is, just 2 weeks ago, I had to replace 5 feet of pipe, and I just went and bought new pipe and replaced what I could because we keep getting pinhole leaks.
He's also got some paint missing on his ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
that was something he threw after you made that comment about the owls.
That happened. That happened. Just this past weekend when my wife threw me a surprise birthday party, and we pulled out the N64 and had a blitz game, a 4-player blitz game, and your boy here with literally 1 second left scored a 57-yard touchdown to win the game, and my friend threw his hat up in the air, or like threw it, like was throwing it at the ceiling. And
did he come from a construction site, or was it a hard hat? Like,
no, I don't. And the good thing is though, my wife and I were like, we hate this popcorn paint. We're going to remove this anyway. So now this has begun the removal of the popcorn paint.
Nice.
Get it wet first in case there's asbestos in it.
Yeah, that stuff is brutal to scrape off too.
Yeah.
Speaking of asbestos, man,
go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I'm the one that asked you, man. Because 2 years into buying my house, we had a whole room flood in our house. There's an addition that was built onto the back of the house that's attached to the kitchen, and we use it as a dining room. But that room wasn't built how it should have been. And you can tell it went through some damage throughout the years, and they just Band-Aid fixed it and kind of hid it when we bought the house, and not even the home inspectors caught it. But we live on a hill, so there's water rushing down the hill, like when we had torrential downpours and stuff, and water got in this room. It destroyed all the carpet, the drywall up to like a certain feet, probably about 3 foot of drywall got destroyed, and the insulation behind it was all soaking wet. We found out that there was holes in the walls and the exterior walls after we removed the drywall. So it just kept getting worse and worse as we peeled that onion. And so now I have to find a way to fix all this stuff. So not only do I need to fix the room, I got to fix the yard to where this doesn't happen again to me. And so we got out a big loan. I went and I paid a landscaper to put drains in our backyard to where it just moves the water around the house with drains and pipes in the back. That cost me like $5,000 to do that.
Sure.
This room has been destroyed, and we've had plastic over it for over a year now. And we finally got drywall, got everything re-drywalled. We got the messed up wood and within the walls all replaced and fixed. Everything's re-drywalled, new baseboards, the whole shebang. They painted it, made it look like the rest of our house. It looks awesome. Now I need a floor. So because the contractors I hired didn't do flooring. So we had people come in, and nobody wanted to touch that room because what was underneath the carpet was a bunch of old broken up tile, and they all think it was asbestos tiling. And so I didn't think it was, because our house was built in the 60s, and this room was an addition that was added on. It looked like maybe like in the 90s, but I don't know for sure. So it just kind of looks like it's super old tiling. I don't think it's asbestos tiling, but if a carpet company or anybody like that even questions it, they will not touch your shit unless you can prove that it's not, or you get it professionally removed, which will cost more than what it would cost to get flooring put in. So I was like freaking out. I'm like, how I get a floor put in? I could do some cheap solution like putting carpet tiles in or something like that, but that's just a Band-Aid fix. I don't want any more Band-Aid fixes in this house. I want it done right. Luckily, I found a flooring company that just came in and did measurements today. They're going to put a layer of concrete.
I was going to say, pour concrete over that bitch.
Yep.
So that's what I would do.
They're just going to put a layer of concrete over it. They're like, I don't care if it's asbestos or not. We're just pouring concrete over that bad boy. So they're going to cover that whole thing, and they're putting in brand new like hardwood floor in there. That's going to be like 100% waterproof. It's going to have the nicest flooring in the entire house in this room. And it's a 200 square foot room. So they took their measurements. They're going to give me their quote tomorrow. It's probably going to cost like around $1,100 to get it done, which ain't too bad. Yeah, I mean it's more expensive than carpet, but I don't want to. If this room ever got water in it again, I don't want to have to deal with putting another floor in. I want to put a floor in and never have to touch it again. So and it's good for kids. You can't mark it up. You know, they can't scratch it. I mean, they can play in there and it's great. So so I want to get them hopefully started on that next week. And this room, after about 1.5 years of it being plastic up and unusable, I can finally use that part of my house again.
You can eat in that room again.
Yes, nice. I can eat. Yeah, because we have our dining room table is in our kitchen, and it's so crammed in there. It's awful. Sure. It's so cluttered. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's we got a crash course in homeowner. Homeownerism, I guess, for lack of a better term. And yeah, when Robby told me about his house, having water issues and stuff, that just reminded me of that. It's just like, man, it sucks when you buy a house and you think you're set, for the first time, then all this shit just starts happening to you. And I mean, this isn't the only thing that's happened. We had to replace the water heater. We had to fix some other stuff in the house too, a little more minor. But
yeah, my hot water heater exploded in my garage 2 weeks after we moved into this house.
Ooh, so yes, mine was leaking carbon monoxide, and our carbon monoxide detectors went off. And my wife was home by herself with our infant son.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And she freaked out. I'm like, call the paramedics, the fire department. Like, call the fire department. They came in. They saw that it was coming from the water heater, and we got it taken care of. Luckily, we had a home warranty at that point.
Oh, that's good.
So they took care of the water heater, but not the plumbing. So it actually cost more to do the plumbing than it did to replace a water heater. So wasn't worth a damn. But yeah, so that was terrifying, to have that happen soon after buying a house. But our house is all slab. There's no basement. Garage is really small. So all the utilities are in a closet in the hallway. So like if my water heater would burst, it would like destroy my hallway.
Oh man.
Yeah, but luckily in that situation, my homeowner's insurance would have taken care of it. They wouldn't take care of this room because it was outside water. They considered it a flood. We don't have flood insurance because we don't live in a floodplain, so they wouldn't touch it. So it came all to me.
Wow.
Robby, are you playing Smash Brothers?
No.
You can't hide the button tabs, man. I can hear it.
I am.
Okay.
I'm at a hard part. And I keep wanting to beat it, but I can't for some reason. I just need to get good.
All right. Anybody have anything else before we wrap this up?
Just trying to think of what's new life-wise for me.
How's dad life doing, man?
Dude, I honestly can't complain. Like, I don't have some like dad joke complaint about my life. I just don't. For those people that don't know my schedule. And y'all wouldn't know my schedule, but my schedule usually looks like this. I get up probably around 7 whenever he wakes up, and sometimes 8. When we get up at 8, I feed him, I get him dressed. He goes to daycare from 9 to 1, and then I pick him up, and then from 1 till about 7 or 8, it's just me and him, because Lisa doesn't get home till usually 7 or 8 at night. I just love hanging out with that kid. I love my little dude. His name's Elijah Kenobi, for those that don't know. But right, well, I won't lie. Since Thursday, it's been a little rough because we've been trying to do sleep training with him. But tonight was the first night that we put him down, and we didn't have to go comfort him at all. Like, he fell asleep. He cried for a few minutes, but within the time span we're allotted, he fell asleep within that time span.
Yeah.
So small victories.
And you get your bed back. It's always the best.
Yes. I get my bed back, and I don't know, man. Like, you're never ready to be a dad until you're a dad.
Absolutely.
You know, I think it was both you guys that said that to me once we found out that we were pregnant. But my life was already super crazy before having a kid, so my life didn't drastically change after having a kid. I think all that really changed was I am now more conscientious of, I really would rather hang out with him than, I don't know, put him down and watch a movie or something. Like, I don't just put him in the walker and just let him go free all willy-nilly so I can do something. Like, I actually want to play with him or read to him. And I don't know. I will say this. I sadly can say that I have screamed at a baby, though. I can say that because
we've all been there, man.
Because I have yelled at him before, because not recently, thank the Lord, but I have yelled at him because I had no freaking idea what he wanted or what was wrong. And so I don't know what you want. Just shut up. If you've ever told a baby to shut up, it's because you're not a dad.
I'll tell you, that doesn't really change.
No.
My son is quite linguistic. He can talk very, very well, and there are still moments where I'm like, bro, use your word. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Like, why are you mad? Like, help me help you, man. Like, cause like I have no idea what the hell's going on.
I love when your kid tells you things are going on or happening or exist that you know they do not, but yet they still insist that they do, and they will try to prove you otherwise, and they'll just sit there and argue with you. It's like, no, dude, that's not a real thing. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. I'm trying to tell you that. You know? Like, when they start talking, Robbie, I swear to God, it gets worse. Like, they will not stop, and they will drive you insane.
Evelyn's just hitting the terrible 2 stretch of I now know what no means, and I'm gonna scream it at you all the time. Like, that's a great time. And then I was gonna say, but twos are nothing. Threes, man, threes are where you want.
We just got out of that because my son just turned 4, and he has been easier to deal with now than he was the entirety of last year.
I'm telling you, I could never understand why, you know, people say dad left for a pack of smokes and never came back until my kid was 3. That's when I was like, you know, I kind of get it. I kind of get how you just leave one day. Like, Jesus, this. Oh man.
He actually turns 8 months on Thursday.
Well, you're through the worst of it in the infant days, then.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, he's in the process of cutting teeth, and so, you know, obviously once a day, like, he's in pain, but Lisa and I stay on top of that with Tylenol, Oragel, and teething tablets. Like, I think probably the greatest accomplishment of my life is that Lisa comes to me asking me what we should do.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Because I spend so much time with him. But I don't know, man. Life is really good. Life is super crazy busy. I'm taking 5 classes this semester so I can graduate this summer, and I technically have 3 jobs because I'm the youth, college, and children's pastor. And you know, so just things are really busy, but it's a good busy. It's a happy busy. I hope to take advantage of 2019 as much as I can, because, like I said earlier, Lisa will be leaving next January. And you guys remember, it's just kind of rough when she deploys.
Of course.
But
yeah, we remember.
But yeah, I'm just ready for 2019. I'm ready for these games to start coming out. And I want, what is it, Sekiro Die Twice or whatever?
Die Twice.
Yeah, like, let's go. Let that please be what I think it is. And that's just Dark Souls with a grappling hook. Like that's all.
Well, they did announce that when you die, you don't lose your experience or currency in this one, so that's cool. So you don't have to like go back to your body and reclaim it or whatever.
Oh my gosh! You know that all these positive things I keep hearing about this game just tell me that it's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it.
I'm down for Tenchu Dark Souls though. Like,
yeah, what's
I'm
up?
down to play that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shannon, you have any words of wisdom before we head out?
No, I'm actually just happy that I was able to talk some of The Masked Singer with Mike Miller and Jordan.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Jesus,
dude,
wasn't
awesome.
one of them like Tommy Chong or something?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's a washed up celebrity to me. Like, I don't. If this is going to be like Dancing with the Stars, I'm like Danny Bonaducci's going to show up or something. Like, I don't care.
I don't like the hosts. Like, I don't like the 4 panelists. Like, not that they're individually sucky or anything like that. I just don't think they mesh well at all.
No, I don't. I could care less about them. I just care about the singers themselves, and
you just want to know who's behind the mask.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
it's fun. Don't poop on my dreams.
I'm not poo-pooing on it, man. You know what? I'm excited for
Zach
the Punisher.
My Eeyore.
I'm excited for the Punisher this Friday.
Yes. I finished Titans today. I will say this, and then we can get the heck out of here.
Okay.
I finished DC's Titans today, and I won't lie. That first episode does not make a very good impression at all. It completely turned me off to where I just waited for the whole show to be over with, and I just didn't watch anything else. But I pushed through that first episode and watched it. DC realized that it wasn't the grit and the dark stuff that turned people away from the other DC movies. They realized that they just didn't have good quality writing. And this show gives you great characters. It gives you good writing. And I don't know if I've ever seen a show with just 11 episodes flesh out a world more than they did here. Like, it truly feels like Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Batman exist in this world within 11 episodes. And Zach, I know that you like DC characters as well. I would recommend anyone who's a fan of that world at all. I would recommend watching it. Again, the first episode sucks.
Kind of an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. You need to get through the early part before it gets good.
You had to watch freaking 11 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for it to finally get good. But when it does get good, woo!
Man, I was all in with that one once it hit. Yeah.
So good.
So
Nice.
how did they like flesh out like Cyborg not being in it, and does Beast Boy like change at all?
Beast Boy does change
into an owl. Beast Boy into an owl.
Yeah.
And,
Cyborg isn't even mentioned. And which is fine. But for me at least it's fine.
Is there a reason for that?
No, they don't. I don't think they're going with the Teen Titans lineup, like, because Hawk and Dove is in the show and they're fleshed out. Donna Troy, Wonder Girl is in the show, but Beast Boy shows up at the very last moment of the first episode, and he does transform, but he's limited in his transformation. I'll just say that for right now.
Okay.
But I thought I was going to hate Starfire, but she ended up being one of my favorite characters of the show. So
cool.
It's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, the reviews I'm reading for The Punisher right now is that this is extremely more violent and a lot more action. And they use that as a flaw, like, because they were saying that the first season was much more thought provoking, and there's a lot more social commentary to it. I don't care. I want the blood and guts and the action. That's the Punisher, you know?
My wife does not give a crap about a story. She wants to see someone get shot in the face.
Yeah. So that's what this is. I mean, it's very brutally violent, I heard. And to me, that's what the Punisher is. Now, there's some of that in the first season, but I did enjoy like the more social commentary, you know, the
PTSD,
smarter.
the PTSD stuff was really well handled.
I thought that was really good. And like what soldiers deal with and stuff like that after war. And I thought that was very cool. But I wanted to see him kick more ass than he did. And apparently that's what we're getting in this this season. So I am pumped for it because I'm a huge Punisher fan.
Well, it's going to get canceled by Monday. Season 3 will get canceled by Monday.
No, it'll Saturday. They'll cancel it Saturday. They will. But I hope that they take John Bernthal and they bring him to the big screen as a Punisher because he deserves it. He's really good as that character, and I hope they don't abandon him with this because damn well Netflix is going to cancel it. So, but yeah, I'm excited for that.
Cool.
All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and get out of here. So everyone, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at That Pixel Life. If you guys want to hear more from us, join the Facebook group as well. We have a Facebook group. We talk games on a daily basis, so come talk games with us. And if you have an Apple product and you're listening to this podcast on an Apple product, please don't forget to drop us an iTunes review as well. We very much appreciate it. It helps us kind of climb the charts. So anyone have anything to say before we leave?
It was good to be here tonight.
Yes, thank you, Robby, for coming back, sir.
Yeah, I'm really happy Robby's back.
We feel whole again.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Alina is doing well in her pursuits. But it's very nice to be able to talk shop with Robby yet again. You were missed.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's it for us this week. We'll see you next week, and have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Bilbao for life.